you're gonna need to have multiples of 6. So go ahead and count how many stitches you've got around, and this will very much determine how many increases you're gonna do on this next row. So I've got 85 altogether. So multiples of 6 will take me to 84, which means I need to add 5 increases on my next row. So let's start on the next row, because the next one is an easy peasy one, which is your double crochet row. So in this row I need to add 5 stitches, and the way I'm going to do them is I'm going to add 1 at each side, so that's going to be 2. I'm going to add 1 in the middle here, 3, and then I'm going to add 2 in the front, just under these front post double that you can see here. So that's what I'm going to do. Go ahead and chain 1, and then do a double crochet into that first chain there. So to do a double crochet, you're going to yarn over, insert your hook into that chain, yarn over, pull up a loop. You're going to have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and go ahead and place a stitch marker on your first stitch there. Now I'm going to do my increase as I come towards the end of that row. So for now, keep crocheting. This is a row where you're going to do just double crochet, so there's nothing too sort of complicated in here. And then I'm going to meet you once I come towards the sort of like just below the armhole there, to show you how we're going to do the increases. So keep crocheting, and I'm going to see you in a bit. Okay, I'm just coming to the bottom of that arm opening, so I'm just about here. I'm going to do the increase. Try to do the increase in the chain 1 space, because it's going to look nicer. Okay, so I'm just going to do 1 more double crochet into this next stitch, and then I'm coming to this chain 1 space, so I'm going to do a double crochet, and then into that same chain space we're going to do another double crochet, and that's pretty much it. That is your increase. Keep on going with this row. Remember, by the end of this row you have to have multiples of 6. Okay, so we have done the increases and finished this row. Let's slip stitch it to that first stitch there and chain 3. This row will consist of some shells, and we're going to be using triple crochets. So how are we going to do that? This chain 3 will count as a stitch. So go ahead and pop in a stitch marker right there. Okay. And in this same stitch where the chain 3 is coming from, we're gonna put 4 more triple crochets. So we're gonna count this as 1, so altogether you're gonna have 5. So yarn over twice, insert your hook into that stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. You're going to have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, and we're going to do this 3 more times. So go ahead and do that. And make sure you've got 5 triple crochets into that same stitch, like so. And this is a first shell, or cluster if you want to call it, completed. Next we're gonna skip 2, so skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, and in this third one we're gonna do a single crochet like so. We're gonna skip 2, and in this chain here we're gonna do 5 triple crochets. Okay, and this is the pattern you're gonna follow all along this row. So you're gonna do your shell, you're gonna skip 2 stitches, do a single crochet, then skip 2 and do another shell. Go ahead and finish this row. I'm gonna meet you once you are near the end of this row. We're gonna finish it together and we're gonna start on the next one. So I've come to the end of that row. All I'm left to do is just to finish it with a slip stitch. Okay, right in there into that chain 3 space. I'm going to chain 1 and we're going to turn our work. Just to let you know that if you don't want to do triple crochets, you can actually do this with a double crochet, but I found that triple crochet, it gives you a little bit more sort of like floaty feel to the skirt. So if this was a cardigan, for example, I would have used a double crochet to do this. But because it's a skirt, I feel it's a little bit softer, it's a little bit airy. So I feel it's better for skirt anyway. So, okay. We've turned our work. And next we're going to do another row of patterns, and for this row you do need to know how to do front post triple crochets. So to do that, you're going to yarn over twice like we've done. You're going to go in the back of this pillar there from the first shell at the back, yarn over, pull through, and again you're going to have 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and that's pretty much it. Let's do that again in the next pillar there. We're going to create another front post triple, and we're going to do, once we've done those 2, we're going to chain 1 and we're going to do a single crochet into that next stitch. So we're going to have 3 pillars left there. Okay, so we've used those 2, and in the third one there we're going to do a single crochet, yarn over, not yarn over, chain 1, sorry, and then in these 2 pillars we're going to do front post triple. Now this is the pattern that we're going to do on basically all the shells. Okay, let's finish that with that front post. Oops. Then we're going to move on to the next shell and we're going to do exactly the same. We're going to start with 2 front post triple. That's 1. Chain 1, and then in this middle stitch we're going to do a single crochet like so, chain 1, and we're going to finish that with 2 front post triple crochets. So continue with this pattern all along this row. I'm going to meet you towards the end. We're going to finish together and we're going to start on the next row. Okay, so I'm finishing with this row. I have done my last front post triple crochet, so all I'm left to do is just to slip stitch it to this first front post triple that we did, and we're going to chain 3 and turn our work. Let's just actually have a look. I do like this when we can see results, and yeah, look how beautiful this is, guys. It's turning out to be very pretty. I do like it. Okay, next row. So this next row is very similar to the row that we did before, not the one we just finished, but the one before, where we did the shells. This time the shells will have 7 triple crochet. So again, this chain 3 will count as a stitch. So go ahead in this space here, so all of these spaces basically where we connected the front post doubles, and you can see them there, we will do 7 triple crochets in. So we've got that chain 3, so that's 1. So go ahead, do 6 more in this space here. So this is the space where the chain 3 is coming from. Okay, so do 7 and we can continue together. Okay, I have completed 7 triple crochets. I've got my stitch marker there, so that's on that chain 3. Next, what we'll do is, if I'll just pull this a little bit, we're gonna skip 3, and in this space here, so this is the stitch of the single crochet from the row below, we're gonna just make another single crochet like so. We're gonna skip 3, and in this big space here where the front post double joined in sort of thing, yeah, from the previous row, so in that space there we're gonna make 7 triple crochets, and this is the pattern that you're gonna follow all along this row. So in these big spaces, okay, there and there, you're gonna do a shell which is gonna have 7 triple crochets, and just on top of the single crochet from the previous row you're going to do another single crochet, but basically you're skipping 3 this time, and in there you're going to place a single crochet. So keep on going, and I'm going to see you towards the end of this row. We're going to finish it together and we're going to start on the next one. I'm coming towards the end of that row. All I need to do is just to put the last single crochet, oops, and then connect this with that chain 3 space, well, not space, chain 3 that we did at the beginning, and we're going to just chain 1 and turn our work. So this next row is very similar to 2 rows down where we did our front post triple crochets, and this is what we're going to do for this row as well, but instead of doing 2 we're going to do 3 front post triple, chain 1, do a single crochet in the middle of that shell there, chain 1, and do another front post triple. So let's start. So we're gonna do 3 front post triple to start on this row. So this is gonna be all in this first shell there. So go ahead and do these 3, 1 more, chain 1, and then in the middle of this shell, so that's that one there, we're gonna do a single crochet, chain 1, and we're gonna finish in that shell with 3 front post triples. Okay, so very similar to what we did 2 rows down, except that instead of doing 2 front post triples, we are doing 3 because we did increase the shells by 2 stitches. Okay, and that's the third one, and we're going to move on to the next shell there, and again you're going to start with a triple and keep going. So please make sure that you do 3 front post triples, chain 1, single crochet in the middle of that shell, chain 1, and then 3 more front post treble and go along that row. I'm going to meet you once we come towards the end of that row. We're going to finish it together and then we're going to start on the next one. So I've come to the end of that row. All I'm left to do is just slip stitch it to that first stitch and chain 3, and we are ready to turn our work. Okay, so this is what our work, well, let me do it on the front. This is what it looks like at the moment, and I think it's shaping on really nicely. Please remember that this chain 3 does count as a stitch, so go ahead and pop in your stitch marker there. So this next row will form part of the 2-row repeat, and how we're going to start this is we're going to do 9 triple crochet into that space there. This is where our chain 3 is coming from. So go ahead and do your shell by making 9 triple crochets. Please remember that the chain 3 does count as a stitch. I've got my shell with 9 triple crochets, and the next thing we're going to do is pretty much the same as these rows here that we've done. The only difference is that we've got 2 more triple crochets on our shell. So we're going to find the single crochet from the previous row, so that's this stitch here. We're going to skip all of these, and in this single crochet from the previous row we're going to make another single crochet. In this big space, like before, we're going to make our 9 triple crochets. So once you've done this shell, you're going to do your single crochet just on top of the single crochet from the previous row. Continue with this pattern, and I'm going to meet you at the end of this row. We're going to finish it together and we're going to start on the next row, which is the second row from our 2-row repeat. I'm coming towards the end of this row now, and I'm just going to connect this last stitch to the chain 3 that we've made at the beginning of this row, and I'm going to chain 1 and turn our work. So this next row, as I've mentioned earlier, is the second row from our 2-row repeat. And what we'll do, very similar to what we've done in some of the previous rows, is we're gonna start with a front post triple crochet in that first pillar of our first shell. And this time we're gonna make 4 front post triples. We're gonna chain 1, do that single crochet right in the middle of our shell, and we're gonna do 4 more triple crochet until the end of the shell. So I've done my 4 front post triple crochets, chain 1, and in this next one, which is the middle of our shell, okay, we're gonna do single crochet, chain 1, and for the remaining 4 stitches we're gonna do front post triple. And that's pretty much the pattern that we're gonna follow all along this row, and you keep on going. I'm gonna meet you once we are at the end of this row. We're gonna finish it together, and then I'm gonna just remind you of the dimensions that we're gonna need for our dress and go from there really. So keep crocheting. Let's finish this row and then we'll start on the next one. So I'm at the end of my row. All I'm left to do is just to connect this with the slip stitch like so, and I'm going to chain 3. I'm going to pull and just show you our work so far. Oops. Okay, let's pull that, and this is what we've got so far. I think this skirt is absolutely gorgeous. Look at that. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be so cute. Now you've got the 2 rows repeat, so the last row and the row before, those are the ones that we're gonna be repeating until you've got the desired length of your skirt. So I'm gonna show you just the reminder of the sizes. The dress length for 3 months is around 30.5 centimeters. For 6 months is about 33 centimeters. I'm just gonna go something in between this. If you're making a dress for an older child, for example, for 12 months, you're looking at 48. For an older child, even longer than that. Okay, so bear this in mind, because you're gonna have to continue with the rows in order to achieve that. So again, we're going to repeat our last row in the row before. So we're going to start with a shell of 9 triple crochets, and then we're going to do the front post triple crochets as well. So keep on going with your dress. Repeat these 2 rows, the last 2 rows that we've done, until you have the desired length. I'm going to do the same. Then we're going to come back, because we're going to do the little edging here where the neckline is. We're going to put like a little lace there, and we're going to do same thing for the sleeves as well. And that's pretty much it. Oh, don't forget, well, to put a button in there. And that will be it. I think it's looking like it's going to be a very pretty dress. I do like this. Okay, keep crocheting, guys, and I'm going to see you very soon. Okay, everybody, I've completed the skirt, and I think it looks gorgeous. It's very princesses-like. It's got like a little princess vibe on there, and I don't know, I'm loving it. I have also completed the edging for the sleeves, as you can see. So this is the one that we're going to do on the right sleeve, but I just wanted to show you what it's going to look like once we've done it. Once we've completed that, we're just going to do the collar as well. I do have to weave in this end, but I'll do that after. So we'll do the collar. We will do a button in the end on the back, and I have also completed this little flower. I have done the colors sort of random, and I'm gonna just attach that to the side at the end like that, and that's gonna be our finished dress. So yeah, let's get on with the sleeves and we'll go from there. To start on the little sleeve edging, what we'll need to do is just do that starting chain like so. Okay, you're gonna go at the bottom of the sleeve, so that's just at the where the armpits are, right there, and insert your hook into that first stitch there, pull up a loop like so, and chain 1. Okay, now I've got 33 stitches altogether on the other one, so that's how many I need to have on this. So if you're on your second sleeve, please make sure that you are having equal amount of stitches as the other one, because you want them to be the same. Okay, so we're going to chain 2. Oh, let me just tie it in at the back. Okay, there we go. So 1, 2, I'm going to chain 2, and this is going to be very simple. And in this next stitch we're going to do a single crochet, and that's pretty much it really. So chain 2, 1, 2, oops, okay, and in this next stitch do a single crochet, chain 2 and single crochet, and continue with this pattern all along this, around the sleeve. I'm going to meet you once you are coming towards the end. We're going to finish this together and we're going to start on the collar. Okay, so I've done my last stitch, and what I'm left to do, I've chained 2 and I'm just going to slip stitch it to this first chain, oops, like so. I'm going to chain 1 and pull that and just cut it after, and that's pretty much it, guys. That's our sleeves now both completed. I think they look very cute. I didn't want to do anything big for the sleeves purely because the skirt on its own, it's very patented and it's very busy. So if you do the same for the sleeves, I felt that it's gonna be too busy. So that's why the sleeves are a little bit simpler. Okay, let's do the collar next. Okay, so we are up to the collar part, and what we'll do is we're going to create that starting chain like so, and we're going to insert our hook into that first stitch and pull that loop through and chain 1. So for the collar part we're going to do something very similar to what we've done for the little belt area. So go ahead and do your single crochet into that first stitch like so. We're going to chain 1, and then we're going to skip a stitch, and 2 rows below in that stitch there we're going to do a single crochet, but please make sure that you do it a little bit loosely like so. Chain 1, skip 1, and in that next chain 2 rows below, so that's that one there, we're going to do another single crochet, but please make sure that you do it loosely as well. So you're going to get these little spikes in there. Okay, and this is basically the pattern that we're going to follow all along this row. Chain 1, and then we are coming here towards the V stitch, so we're going to use that. So this is our next stitch down like so, chain 1, and then you're going to move on to the next one, which is that one there, and do a spike, chain 1, skip 1, and in the next one repeat this. So go ahead and do this all along the top, and I'm going to meet you once you come towards the end, and we're going to finish this row together. I'm coming towards the end of that row. I have chained 1, and I'm just going to do a single crochet into that first stitch and chain 1. Now I'm going to do another row of just single crochets all across that row. What you can do is, if you want to, you can create a little frill like we did for the sleeves, like so. So you can actually do, okay, you can actually do a row where you've got single crochet, chain 2, and single crochet into each stitch going around. If you want a bigger frill than this, you can actually chain 3 and do that across. I don't think that's necessary for the dress, purely because, as I said earlier, I think the skirt is very busy as it is, and I think it's just gonna be too busy, and we already have the pattern on the front, so you don't really want to be covering those either. This is totally up to you. For this row, we're gonna do single crochets into each stitch across. Now when we come to the V stitches, we're gonna do something different. So we're gonna do 3 single crochets together. I'm coming to the V stitch now, so I'm just going to show you how we're going to do that, and that will mean that our work will sit very nicely on the baby's sort of body, rather than going all wonky. So this is my V stitch here, so I've got one more stitch there, and then this is the stitch before the V stitch, so this is the V stitch, and this is the one after. So what we'll do is we're going to insert our hook into that stitch, the next stitch. Do not finish this single crochet, insert it in the V stitch like so, and then insert it in this stitch just after the V stitch. And you're going to have 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 4, and continue with your single crochets until you get to the next V stitch. We didn't do V stitches in the previous row, however you can actually see them on the row below like so, so they're just there. Okay, so on each corner you're gonna do 3 single crochets together. So keep crocheting, and I'm going to meet you at the end of this row. We're going to finish it together, and then all we're going to have left to do is to put the little buttons at the back. Well, actually I'm going to use one, I think, but anyway, let's finish this row and I'll meet you at the end. Okay, so I've finished that row there, and I haven't cut my yarn yet because I'm going to be using these beautiful buttons. They're like half a pearl, as you can see. So my button is going to go right over here at the top. I'm thinking of just using one button because I don't think it's necessary to have any more, but if you want, you can use a couple of buttons. You might actually want to use 3. I don't know, totally up to you. I think it's going to look pretty either way, so you might actually want to do something like this and have 3 buttons. Let me just put them in and we'll have a look. Oh, actually I'm going to use 3 buttons. I've changed my mind. I think that looks fab. Yes, let's do that instead. So the first button is going to go on top, which means that we need to do like a little button loop in order for us to do the buttons like this. So this is not going to be my loop, but I'm just showing you. Okay, how we're going to create that loop is, okay, so this is my end single crochet, and I'm going to chain 2, and I'm going to go at the bottom. So this is my first chain that I did here. I'm just going to do a single crochet there, yarn over, pull through, and that, if you actually have a look now, will be big enough for my button to go through. So oops, there you go. Okay, now these are very tiny buttons that I've got, as you can see. So they are 10 millimeters. I got this on, where did I got this from? I think I got them on Amazon. It doesn't actually say, but they're fab. They're so pretty. So they're 10 millimeters buttons. So chaining 2 for me, it's actually enough for this button. Now if you have bigger buttons, for example, if you have something like this, which is much bigger than this, and you want to put it right there, what you'll need to do is to chain possibly 3 or 4 and then do the single crochet, and that's going to give you a big enough loop to go over a bigger button. I hope that makes sense. Okay, the next buttons, if you've changed the color, we will need to do them with a color that corresponds to the other side. So in my case, I need to do those loops with a white color. Okay, so let me finish this. I'm gonna just cut this, and I'm gonna weave in that end, and I'm gonna be back with you once I've done that, and we're gonna do the other little loops for the buttons that are gonna go there. Okay everybody, so I have put my other 2 buttons in there, so these are all sewn in, and I've got the first button opening there. Just need to do 2 more of those loops for the other 2 buttons. Because they're on the white part, I'm going to be using the white yarn to do this, and it's very simple and easy to do. So go ahead and create your first loop like so. You're gonna have to see where the corresponding stitch is to that button. So I'm gonna start, well, not there, but it's sort of here. This is where it starts with, and this is where it sort of finishes. So I'm going to insert my hook there, pull that little loop, and just chain 1 to hold that in place. Oops. And I'm going to chain 2 because that's the size of my little buttons. That's the size that I did for the previous one, and create a single stitch into that next stitch, and that's pretty much it. I'm going to chain 1, pull my yarn, and just cut it just to show you. Okay, so I'm going to tie in those ends, and there you have it. Okay, and this one goes here, and I'm going to do another one for the 3rd button, and that's pretty much it, guys. So go ahead, do the little loops for your buttons. Another thing actually that I was going to mention to you guys is my work in here is pretty straight. Okay, as you can see, both of those edges are pretty straight. Now if, for example, maybe accidentally you've added a stitch, or maybe you've taken away and your work is not as straight as this, what you can do is just put a row of single crochets, or not even a single crochet, like a slip stitch, all down the line, and maybe even on the other side, and that's going to even it out. So don't worry about it, just do slip stitch, down, up, job done. Yarn can be very, very forgiving, so you know it's going to be fine. So I'm going to do the other loop, and what I'm also going to do is I'm going to attach the flower, and then we're going to see beautiful dress. I will do another video for like little booties that's going to go together with this dress, and like a headband type of thing. Here it is everybody, the finished dress. I hope you enjoyed this project. I did put a little bit one of the pearl buttons on the flower there. I think it it just makes it a little bit prettier, and it ties it in with the buttons on the back. So this is the front of our dress. I absolutely love this dress. I think it's very cute. This is the back. I did added 3 buttons. So originally I was gonna add just 1, but I did added 3 there. I'm sorry, that's just the flower bulging there. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this project. I hope you find the tutorial easy to follow. If you did like my video, please like it and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any future uploads. Thank you all for staying with me. I hope you guys have a lovely day, and I'll see you again very soon. Thank you and bye bye.